And you said you haven't used any investment.
They were the people who helped us when we needed.
But what was the trigger?
The first one was Redwerk and QAwerk.
So what made you make the transition from a full-time employee to an entrepreneur? That was my favorite. So first of all, it's nice to meet you.
Yeah. Nice to meet you too.
I'm Konstantin. Yeah. And this is my hobby project, IT Traveler.
Okay.
And what I do whenever I'm traveling, and I travel a lot, I thought, hey, everyone knows how IT companies work in Silicon Valley or in Berlin, but no one knows how they work in the other parts of the globe, like, I don't know, consider Thailand or Egypt or Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
And Sri Lanka, here I am today in Colombo, with Anuja, who's the CEO and founder of KONEKT. And we are going to have a conversation. It's not quite an interview, it's a conversation. So you can ask me questions as well. We just learn from each other and we discuss how we do things, right? How we sell, how we gain talent, how we keep talent, what the salaries, the hourly rates are, what our margins, and you can ask me whatever you want.
All right.
Right? And to start with, so yeah, to give you a little information about my background, I'm a software developer myself.
Okay.
I started programming when I was 8. Now I'm 40. This was 32 years ago. With the 23, I founded my company, Redwerk, and then later I founded another company, QAwerk, which is Redwerk specializes in software development, and QAwerk in quality assurance, manual, automated security, this kind of stuff.
Okay.
And I just, so the idea is to learn from, to learn how other company owners, like especially in the service business, in the IT business.
You first started, I think, Redwerk, right?
Yes.
Then the QAwerk.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I'm a partner in a few businesses. One does industrial refrigeration, another does industrial drones. So I just do what's.
So you are working on them full time, or you are just as a consultant basis, or like a director, as a director? Or?
Well, in my business, I'm actually managing, and I'm.
Both the companies.
I'm trying not to micromanage too much, but whenever I need to pay attention to like very little details, I come in and I do that. Hey. I'm Konst, and I run 2 IT service agencies in Ukraine. Yes, it's gonna be about Ukraine, but I'm not asking you to donate, I'm asking you to watch and reshare. As a founder, I have a crucial battle to win, the economic one. As long as my business stands, I can keep my teammates employed and create new livelihood opportunities for tech talents who lost their jobs because of the war. In turn, these teammates can provide for their families, support local sellers, barbers, artists, and make donations themselves. And that's how we keep our economy alive. You know, our president, Volodymyr Zelensky, once said, "I need ammunition, not a right." I firmly believe every tech entrepreneur can relate to that, because we also need work, not charity. Yes, we continue working. We continue helping businesses speed up and secure releases, improve software quality, and add killer features. Despite the war, from safe locations, feeling brave, resilient, and grateful for having such an opportunity. I'm not diminishing the value of non-profits, collecting donations and humanitarian aid. These are essential, but if you want to support Ukraine long-term, consider choosing a service provider or product from Ukraine. Because we have plenty, Grammarly, Ajax, GitLab. Do these names ring any bells? All of them have Ukrainian roots. Stand with Ukraine by working with Ukraine. Make sure to check the links in the description below, where I go into more details into the hashtags Stand with Ukraine initiative and share resources where you can find cool Ukrainian products, from tech gadgets and SaaS to fashion and wellness and home decor. Glory to Ukraine! So tell me a bit about your background. First, about your personal background. You're coming from software development side, as far as I understand. Like many founders here are developers themselves. Like I haven't met so far. I haven't met anyone who would be on the business side. They're all developers. So tell me how it started.
So I'll tell about the name and the things first. So I'm Anuja. So I'm the CEO of KONEKT. So we are a software development company based in Sri Lanka, Colombo. So the background is that I'm also a software engineer as you. So I started from the development. Then I worked in two of the major development firms in Sri Lanka. So then I started back in 2015 with two of my other friends also. So I same as you. So I also interested in the development from like it was like age 15, somewhere around 15. So I started with Pascal. So
that was my favorite. Back in my day, there was also Delphi.
QBasic. So I also worked with QBasic and Pascal. So that's where I started. So in the school days. Then
how old are you now?
Now I'm 31.
31.
Yeah.
Right.
So back in the days it was QBasic, Pascal, and all. Then I studied Visual Basic. So it was like version 5 or 6 at that time. So then I was focusing on developing the things like the small projects and all that. So then after the higher studies, I started working for those two companies. Then thought of like starting something my own to do something more. Like I saw the opportunities and also the willingness to start something bigger and all that. So then we team up with the friends and we started very small. Like it was like not a garage, but it was an annex that we started the company. So three of us were gathered there. So we didn't have much infrastructure also. So it was the basic infrastructure that we had. So from there started. Then we moved to the first office place, which is also close by. So there we were there for like 3 years, and I'll tell you about the projects that we started and currently working on.
I will ask you questions separately about that. So, but speaking of yourself, so you got interested with the programming at the age of 15?
15, yeah.
All right, and then you went to the university to study.
I went to the university,
computer science.
Yes, computer science. It was IT.
And then you worked for an outsourcing company here in Sri Lanka.
Yes, it was an outsourcing company. Then the second one was a product development company. So yeah.
And what made you make the transition from a full-time employee to an entrepreneur?
Main thing was that even from the university time, I had this thing in mind. So I was also working on some freelancing projects, helping the people to set up the IT infrastructure and all that. By that time, even in the school time, we were used to develop the website for the school projects and all that. So that thing was there. So, but even after I started working for these companies, so I thought like that. I think that willingness was inside me that I wanted to pursue something bigger and I want to start something I also had some passions to do things like different things, so I thought of starting something my own. And also like the books I read, so I was also motivated those books, I guess. So
what are the books that motivated you?
The first one was Rich Dad Poor Dad, and also before that it was Napoleon Hill's which one, like Think and Grow Rich. That was the first book kind of thing that interested me in this thing. So then Rich Dad Poor Dad. So they are it went on with those things. I sort of there are the business came in. I since I'm coming from an IT background, so it's something new for me as well. So I started learning things, so going through the video tutorials, reading books and all that. Then it was getting quite interesting. So now where I am now.
But what was the trigger? What triggered founding of your own company?
I think
you got the first customer, idea, the first project.
Yeah. So it was my other two friends also there. So my other partners. So we had some connections from our networks. We got some projects. That my friend got some projects also. So we teamed up and started working on them. Then we thought this is a zero capital investment company. So we didn't invest anything. from like as capital, but from the projects we did, we saved some money, then put them back into the company and formed it. Like we reinvested everything that we earned and grown up the company.
And what was the first project?
So it was a web design, web development project for one of the movie companies in Sri Lanka, movie producers in Sri Lanka. So it wasn't a very big project, but it made us to the place where we should start working on this. So we kept focusing on the projects. So I would say it's not a typical thing. Like most of the companies, how they start is like they get a big project, maybe some long-term big client. So that's not how we started. So only thing was that the passion, we had to start something. So I would say it was the passion, we had to start something. So
what did you use for this project? Was it,
so it was
CMS based or?
Yeah, it was CMS. It was WordPress. So it was new to us as well that time. So then yeah, so we continued working on those things. Then we started working several big companies in Sri Lanka. So one of the universities we started working, so namely Wisdom Business Academy. So we started working with them. So then we moved to several big players in Sri Lanka also, and also we started working with the clients from overseas. Then like after 2 years time, so people started noticing us, even the friends, the family and the network started noticing us. So they started calling us and giving us the projects and all that. So that's how we all started. So yeah, it was from 3 people, like now we have around 20 people working here.
In how many years did you get?
So this is our fifth year, yeah. So we were planning on some expansion at the 3rd year, but with the COVID situation we have to hold it for a while. But now we have started that expansion again, so we are on a serious move now.
All right, so yeah, well, you started with the WordPress project. That was pretty cool.
It was.
And nowadays, so how is the Sri Lankan market? Like, if you are talking about working with the local customers, is it the same prices as for abroad? Is it easier or more difficult to work with them than with abroad, let's say the US or Europe?
No, I would say there would be like several customer types, so let's say segments. But the segment we are mainly focusing is the corporate clients. So what we see is that they are more aware of the things, the technicalities. So it's easy for us. It's not easy, but it's good for us to grow also. So what we see is that, so when it comes to like maybe marketing automation, the CMS, even like they understand why they want CMS in the first place. So with that, it's easy to work. Like the thing is that our engineers have the capacity to do new things. So only thing is that to convince customer, to get them to see the value of it. So without that, they won't even like, you just don't want a CMS if you don't know how to use it. So you can have just a static website and have it. So what I see is that the client base that we are focusing, they are much aware of the things. So they keep educating themselves, so their teams. So we can do things like we started working on marketing automation projects, even most of these big corporations now are focusing on data science. So they have these data platforms. So even from the websites, they want to gather data. So for their data science platforms, the user behavior, the analytics, like what products they purchase and all that. So
but who's easier to work with, like local customers or foreigners?
I would say I don't see any difference at this moment. So it's like mostly it's same for us. So I don't see any.
And now the majority of your customers are from where?
Local. Yeah.
Local.
Yeah, I would say it's local for the moment. But we have clients from UK, Australia, Singapore, and Canada also. So yeah. So
this is quite a broad geography.
Yes. Yes.
And also good for diversification.
Yes,
of income.
It is. Yeah. Now we are not only working on the web development project, so we started mainly at our 2nd year we started working on mobile application development as well. So it's one of the major areas that we are focusing on for our expansion. So we see huge opportunities in that field, like the mobility and mobile application development and the things. So even the SaaS development, like most of even the local customers or local startups are focusing on developing SaaS, which we can help them with developing. So they have the business ideas. So what we are doing is we are helping them to get the ideas into the product. So
and as a company, as a team, do you specialize in any specific technology stack or industry?
Not industry. So we haven't focused on a specific industry, but in technology wise, we won't say we are stick into any of those. Like we also looking for the opportunities that like the new technologies that we can educate ourselves and help the customers with. But for the moment, so we work mobile application development. We work with both React Native and Flutter. So we started with Ionic. So that time it was Ionic. So then we migrated to React Native. So React Native, and we are also working with Flutter as well. So when it comes to the SaaS and the portal development, we use React as the front end development, and also Laravel, PHP Laravel as the back end development. So one thing we see is that for most of the local clients, they are much reluctant to go with .NET and stuff because the server costs and all that, they are a bit pricey. Like in the local context, they are a bit costly. So in that case, we are using PHP to give them
which can
affordable,
be self-hosted, right?
Yes.
Are those mostly self-hosted solutions, or do you use any PHP hosting?
No, we have self-hosting, like we have VPS on Amazon, so that's what we are providing. So we offer managed service where they can like peacefully run their operations, and we take care of their platforms and all that.
All right, and speaking of new technologies, is there anything like blockchain or something like this on the Sri Lankan market?
Yeah, it's there in Sri Lankan market, so people are now aware of it, and there are a lot of big projects going on. So we are also working on several AI projects. So we work with several partners on some data science project as well. So even when it comes to mobile application development, so there are a lot of elements, not fully AI projects, but there are elements of the usage of the AI.
There is machine learning in the Apple SDK
It is. So there are instances one instance is where you might need to use image recognition to identify the local identity card. So there are some business cases where they need it. So those things are like, there are libraries available anyway. So we work on them, and we are focusing on data science as well. So those are the main things. But there are a lot of blockchain usage, like projects as well here in Sri Lanka. So yeah.
All right. Do you have any internal products that you're working on?
Yeah. You mean our own products?
Yes.
Yeah. We have one product for microfinancing industry. So it was kind of like a fully fledged ERP where they have the mobile app for the field officers, and they can collect. Like it's something very common in Sri Lanka. Like country like Sri Lanka is like developing country. So microfinance is like there are a lot of businesses for microfinance. So we have a ERP for microfinance industry. So like we were selling it for like 5 years now. So we started it in our first year. As I remember, it was our first year we started the development of that product. So it's going so far. So we have clients. So there are even a lot of big companies are using it.
But is that a white label product that you can launch your microfinancing solution on? Or is it a microfinancing organization? Whose money is that it's given out?
They're like money lending companies who are using the product. So they use it to manage their loan portfolios, the customers and all that. So when they collect also, they have given a mobile app to the field officers. So once they collect, so they can issue a receipt to the customers, the end customers. And also they can have the data on the real-time dashboard where they can see the performance.
Nice. And how many organizations are using this product?
So for now we have like 10 clients for that. So yeah.
And how do you combine development of this product with your main like outsourcing activity?
Yeah. So mainly the product, we have a separate team for the product development. So not a big team, but like since most of the things are already been developed, so there's only like few tweaks, so the setting up side that is been pending. So we have like small team who is working on that as well. So while others are working on the outsourcing projects.
And you said you haven't used any investment. You just
No. For now, it's almost.
Also for the product.
No, we haven't. The thing is that we have reinvested all the money we got from the profits. We have reinvested on the company and gone this so far. So I would say so. We are with the next expansion. We are planning to get some capital in as well. So we haven't planned it yet because we are actually, I would say so. We are in a transition period. So we are getting our foundation organized. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. And when did you start hiring people?
So
from the very beginning, or
no, it was from the very beginning. So it was just the three of us who were working. So as I remember, it was it wasn't also full time. So there were a few people helped us part time. Yeah, I think it was the second year or somewhere around that we hired people.
And who was your first hire?
It was Nayo Melanjit, who is actually the head of engineering and here with us. So yeah, he was our first hiring. Yeah.
And how did you find him?
It was just we called for CVs. So we it was new to us as well, the interview side. So so I would say it's a gut feeling. This guy would his attitude. I really liked his attitude. So I think my decision was correct. So he's here, he's running the show, the engineering side, he's running the show. So he has a good attitude. So and also he's willing to do learn to new things. So that's the main thing. So he started with PHP. Now he's working he's handling team with React Native, Flutter, AWS. He's a full stack developer. So it's a good thing, the attitude and the willing to learn. So some people are not like that. So some people say, I know only PHP, so I can't work with any other thing.
It's continuous education right now, of course. And what other roles do you have in the company besides developers?
Other roles. So we in related to the department, so we have 3 people for sales, including myself. So there are 2 other people who are helping with sales. So other than that, we have the project management, the BAs and project managers. We have a team of 3 people. So and also we are working with some consultants as well. So outside consultants for the consultancy purposes and also the QA. So most of the time, so we work with some QA outsourcing also. So that is something you guys do, I think. So
and any account management or project management?
We have outsourced those things. So the
you are outsourcing project management.
No, not the project management. The account the account managers use it.
No, account management.
Account managers
talking to customers.
Yeah. So that is handled by the project managers and the BAs.
Outsourced.
Yeah. No, not outsourced. We have in-house project managers. Yeah.
All right. What's your company culture?
So I would say it's client culture. So we don't it's common as most of the IT companies. So we have flat structure where we don't have those roles and all that. So everyone can come up with ideas and work. So we respect everyone. So they can come and talk to anyone anytime. So it's a very friendly culture. So we have the parties, the games and everything. So we have these carom boards and all that. So at the evening, so people play. We have
what do you play?
Sorry?
What do you play? What kind of games?
We have the carom, either video games. So we have those gaming nights where everyone will stay. So we play the video games.
Which one is your favorite?
So I am not a gamer.
Me neither, but I have a PlayStation in every office. Just in case someone wants to play Mortal Kombat. So
I think I'm good at car games, not those what are those called,
fighters.
So I'm not good at those. So while those days, while other kids are playing games, so what we did was we were working with Visual Basic and all that. So that I totally miss. But those times I was playing Age of Empires and all that, but
you cannot play it with someone in the office. And your parties, how do they look like? You just gather in the office and have drinks and pizzas?
Yeah, we do. Before COVID, we used to go outside and enjoy, but these days we are also getting into things inside, the beers and all that, the pizzas and all that. So we enjoy them.
And speaking of COVID, by the way, there are so many companies that just left their offices. For instance, you know what happens with us? In the beginning of 2021.
Okay.
In 2020.
2020, yeah. It was like...
It's been already 2 years, right?
Yes, it is.
So in the beginning of 2020, like when it all started, not like the very beginning, but starting in March, we just canceled our office rent.
Okay.
And we worked for, I think, for half a year remotely.
All right.
In Kiev, in one of our locations. The other location was going in the office mode.
It was...
was going in the office mode, but very few people would come to the office. Mostly they work from home.
Okay.
And then we encouraged, then there were people with little kids at home and so on, and they needed an office to come to. So we had to rent a new one for them in Kiev, but it's still quite big. And I don't know, maybe we should downsize the office itself because there's so much space not used right now. I let one of my partner companies also be there, and then still there is.
So you have that benefit, like since you have several companies.
So that was plenty of space. So, but that time without an office was quite fun as well, and I think we also got very productive.
Yeah, that's so.
Working from home.
Those days we were also working from home. We didn't have any interruptions.
But for 2 years in a row to be work from home, I think it's pretty difficult.
Yes, it is. It is. Even like we got some new projects that we wanted to get the team in. So we don't have everyone at the office, but the maybe the core team or like they talk to themselves and come like let's say they won't have a meeting at Monday, so they come and work. So we haven't forced anyone to come even. So some people are working from home, then some people are comfortable working from home, so they don't have problems with the commute and all that. So their productivity is good when then they are working from home. But some people, like when they have the kids and even the internet connectivity. So in Sri Lanka, the internet connectivity is one of the like major thing. Like when it comes to our outstation. So that's a major problem that we face. So they prefer coming to office. Even like some people ask like I want like it's tiring to work from home for like long time. So can I come to the office and work? So that time also like people used to ask it. So we opened the company. So anyone could come and work on the company. So they can have.
We'll do a small office tour after this conversation.
We'll go and see. We'll talk to the guys. So
there's some guys working.
There are like 10 people today working.
All right. And speaking of people, is it easy to find talent here in Sri Lanka, in Colombo?
It's not that hard. So I think we have a lot of IT universities, and also I would say people know the trend, like IT trend. People are there. So most of those kids, the students, they select IT for their higher studies. So it's not like for now it's not a hard thing for us to find the talent here. So we haven't faced any problems. Only thing is the competition. We have a lot of several like hundreds of IT companies in Sri Lanka. So we have to find the quality talent here. So it's a bit competitive. The talent market is a bit competitive, but if we play it right, so.
And which channels do you use to attract candidates?
Sorry?
How do you look for candidates?
Yeah, so mainly we use LinkedIn, and also we publish the vacancies, and also through the network we find like some people refer us, so the network, so they also refer us. So even now like people know us, so from the referrals and all that, even their friends had worked here maybe sometimes, or even their friends are working here. So with that we get find it easy to get people hired.
But speaking of quality of candidates, let's say out of 10 candidates, how many do you hire?
Like what do you say, like from the CVs we receive and the...
Yeah, for example.
Like for a position, I would say like we receive more than, sometimes it's like hundreds of CVs for one position. But like...
then I call it hard.
Yeah, then it's hard like to find the...
and do you hire mostly like junior or middle or senior?
We mainly have middle people. Like I don't see at this moment we don't have any need to get like more senior people. So the projects we working on, like most of the things like these the technologies we work with, the Flutter and like React Native and all that are new technologies. So most of these senior or like the old people, they are not aware, like they are new to that technology, so we don't see any their experience is there, so we get the consultants from them, so we work with them as consultants. But the engineers we work with, so they are in like entry level to middle level, so they like may sometimes even like, since I am also coming from software background, I have seen these new people, they know like lot more than the senior people, so they have gone to like medium, and the resources they have, like those days we didn't have any YouTube videos or related to those things. Now if you search for something, you have like hundreds of YouTube videos for that same thing, so how to do that thing, so they are more into the thing, yeah.
All right, and how do you keep talent? Let's say it's not enough to only hire someone, but it's also important to be able to keep them.
Since it's more competitive, so it's not easy to keep the talent. So we have this, like the maintaining the culture is one key thing that we prefer to like keep the people, and also the career development. So we have this career development committee where we organize these events and the guidance that we can provide to improve themselves. So what I see is that we build this thing, so it's not for us but for everyone. So my vision is like, if someone is working with us, they also want to grow. Even the first hire we were talking about, the Naomi, so he was like, what I see is that he also needs to go with us. So that is something. Even the person who has handles the business development, the head of business development, Sagi, so he was working with us from the beginning. So what I see is that all these people should grow with the company. So we provide that opportunity. So we provide them the things they need, the opportunities, the technologies.
Are there any standard incentives for
employees
here, or maybe there is a standard social package or something that comes with every company in Sri Lanka?
Yeah, so we follow those things. So most of the things like the other companies also follow. So since it's the competition, we can't.
Normally?
Sorry?
What's included normally? What kind of perks?
Yeah, like we provide the bonuses, even like the other benefits, like I would say the office, like the office one is the tea, coffee, those things will be provided. So.
But how about gym membership or English classes? Or
at this moment we don't have.
Or medical insurance?
Yeah, medical insurance we are working on getting one. So we are talking to some of the vendors in here. So we are planning to get that immediately. So that is.
Maybe conferences?
Yes. Yeah, the training programs, conferences, we provide them the opportunity to join. So we also part of this organization called FITIS. Which is the official body of the IT companies in Sri Lanka. So it's like the Federation of IT companies. So they offer these training programs and these conferences and all that. So we anyway get the opportunity to join. So we get our employees to join there as well. So yeah, those things have been provided. So.
And what are the average salaries here in Sri Lanka and Colombo? For junior, middle, and senior?
It varies. I would say even like it varies with the business model. So
in service.
Sorry?
In services.
In services also, like if you are working with foreign clients mainly, if your revenue is mainly coming from the foreign clients, or maybe it's USD or like some other foreign currency, so the salaries would be higher. But when we are working with local clients mainly, so the salaries are a bit average. So and also there are some companies like small scale companies like who are paying like small amounts. So that's also there. So they are working with these small like there are a lot of even like businesses outside the Colombo also. So since you have traveled, you might have seen like there are a lot of supermarkets and those small businesses around the country. So they are serving locally. So let's say at Dambulla, so you went out, so there will be software company in Dambulla where they team up with people from that area itself, and they also they provide like let's say post systems and all that. So
well, no, I'm talking about services companies outsourcing that develop software and work with foreign customers.
Yeah.
What are the salary ranges?
I can't tell you exact number, so it varies. I think mostly like it's this standard like the outsourcing rates. I think it also depends on the project as well. So yeah, I can't tell you like this is the number.
All right. All right, delivery. How do you achieve quality of your work?
So we have a fully fledged project management cycle from the project initiation phase to the project finalization phase. So we keep track of the status and all that. So we maintain that, and also the quality aspect. So and also one thing. So we most of the projects we maintain CI/CD pipeline. So the testing and all that. So and we have the QA team there. So we'll be doing the final quality checks and all that.
That's
so
the functional quality, but how about the code quality? How do you make sure that it complies with the good practices and
so
it's maintainable, readable?
Yes. So we do the code reviews for the junior developers. The code reviews are done by the leads of the project or like this. And also we use like some automated tools. So depending on the technology we use, we use as much as possible. So the automated tools where when you do the commit, so automatically the code will be checked and notified whether the code can be committed or not. So that is one thing, and also the builds and CI/CD. So we implement those quality checks on those places as well.
You said you hired only middle level developers, but you said you have juniors and projects.
Yes.
What's the typical structure of a project team? How many seniors, middles, juniors?
It depends on the scope of the project. So
Our average?
On average, like we have three levels of engineers. So mainly there will be a lead who is like can be a team lead, like tech lead kind of one. So then we have the middle level engineers, so like the senior engineers, and also then we have the junior engineers. So depends on the project side, so it can vary like 5 to 10 people. So yeah.
And how many out of those 10, let's say, are senior, middle, and junior?
Like let's say we have like 3 seniors, and others will be juniors plus one senior guy who is
from my experience, working with juniors is more expensive than just having seniors.
Expensive in the sense
because the seniors will have to redo all the work for them, and then the cost of delivery is going to increase, and it also burns out the seniors.
It also depends on
does it happen with you?
What type of developments we delegate to them. So we carefully choose what kind of what parts of the project we are going to give them to develop. So depending on that, so we keep the quality of the project. I agree with you. Even in terms of the time, so the other people have to put in much time. So if the quality isn't there, so
all right. And what's your favorite project so far?
Like all are my favorite projects. So these days, so I am much focused on mobile application development. So I am also overlooking the project sometimes. So
one particular project for a particular client.
Particular project. It's one of the projects we recently released. So we work with this. I told you. So we work with this institute called Wisdom Business Academy. They are the largest SEMA institute in Sri Lanka. So recently we released we gave them a project for their mobile lab. So it was quite interesting for me as well. So their management also very interested in getting it done. So they wanted to have these new things. So we included a real-time chat also in that. So the notifications, all that. So it is kind of interesting. So we wanted to do such I would say kind of like a complex mobile application. So we integrated it with several platforms. Like they had this Moodle LMS where we integrated the mobile app to fetch the data from there, they show the course content, even chat with the lecturers. Students can have group chats inside. So all that we had. So we had several even we integrated with their website. So now we are working on integrating with their accounting system to collect the payments. So it's quite interesting project. So with this a lot of integrations and all that, even when it comes to mobile apps, so it was quite interesting project. So I also put my input into it. So I also work with the guys to giving some inputs like things to use and all that. So yeah.
In this kind of projects, it's important to have good UI UX in place.
Sorry?
UI UX is important for this kind of projects.
Yes, exactly. So for the mobile application, we follow this. For the mobile applications, we have this process where we first provide a fully fledged prototype for the customer, so they can know we work with Figma for that. So with Figma, we provide a fully fledged prototype where they can click and navigate to the each and every screen of it. So, and also we keep in mind that from the development side, we get the same output as well. So we compare one-to-one with the exact prototype and the development. So that is something even from my experience, I know, sir, even adding a one button would hinder the user experience if we don't think about this UI UX side. We just we just can't ask developer to add a random button to a screen, so it will fully
screw
the screen. So we carefully, for the small adjustments also, we carefully go through this process and see how we should do the change.
All right. So in IT services, what do you consider a good margin for a company?
I would say 30%.
30. And how much do you get now?
Yeah, around 30. Yeah.
30. That's a very good margin.
Yeah, but it differs from project to project. So.
No, it's overall. When you wrap up the year, there's just one figure.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the cultural differences working with your foreign customers?
I haven't seen culture differences. I haven't felt it so much. We are since I have worked on those companies also, foreign clients. So we don't face any problems or difficulties working with the clients. So yeah.
There are always difficulties working with the clients.
Yeah. So even whether it's from local or foreign, so it's the same things when it comes to technology, I guess. So we haven't faced any cultural problems.
Not problems, just differences.
Yeah, differences. Yeah, I don't think we haven't faced any such difference working with the foreign clients or local clients. So only thing is that there can be differences in the processes. So for a local client, if we present a prototype and if we explain, so they might not focus much on that. So they just want to get it developed. So but the foreign clients, so they go into details and do the suggestions, give the feedback for each of these streams and all that. I see that is there. So
more involved, right?
Yeah.
They're more involved.
Yes.
Okay. And have you ever worked with Indian developers?
Sorry?
Have you worked with Indian developers?
Indian developers, no.
Or maybe with their code or with the...
Yeah, code I would say sometimes we have worked with some codes, but not we don't use those Indian...
but there are sometimes projects developed, let's say, in India, and the customer would come to you and tell you to continue working on it.
That's true.
Has it ever happened to you?
Yeah, happened to us. So this was one of the e-commerce projects that we got. So, but they said it was a good product that they are using as the backend. But when we go into it and see, so there were some links. So when we went, it was just a script, e-commerce script, which was not usable. It wasn't usable actually for the client also. So then we worked with that client to give it up on that code base, and we started with it Magento, I guess. Yeah, Magento. We are working with Magento for that. So it's kind of you can easily use Magento and get the thing done rather than going with that script which is not usable. So those are the things I have.
And now back to the cultural differences. So many people who work with Indian teams, they say that the main culture problem, the main challenge that they face is that the Indians usually say yes to everything, right? It's in their culture, and it's very difficult for them to say no. Let's say you ask an Indian person, will it be ready by this deadline? They say yes. But then when the deadline comes, they say, no, it wasn't realistic. Could you have told me before? And this is the main challenge that people are having with India. How is that in Sri Lanka?
Okay. So for us, the thing is that we usually follow the process. So our project managers will definitely go through the scope and see whether it can be delivered on that time. So that's their call. So we also talk to the client and see, so if they have like something like release or like when it comes to e-commerce, like if they have planned something, so we talk to them and see whether how urgent it is. So if there's anything that we can do from our end to fast track the development, like increasing the developers or maybe like prioritize the things, so we'll do that, but we don't overpromise them. Like we don't give them unrealistic timelines. So we always go to the project management plans.
Let's say that you gave a realistic estimate, and then along the way you find out that it's not realistic anymore. What happens then?
Yeah, the instances can be if the scope changes, or let's
say the scope hasn't changed.
Okay.
But there is some technical obstacle that you stumbled upon. That let's say you had no idea this library which you thought was doing this thing well, and it turns out you understood it incorrectly.
No. So from my end, so I would say, so we haven't faced that. As like most of the cases, we usually go through those libraries that we are planning to use on that project before promising things to the customer. Even like when it comes to the timeline, so we first go through those libraries and see. So maybe we do some POCs in-house.
All right. You started working on a web project, and a new browser update came out.
Okay.
And then all the browsers suddenly start behaving differently, and now you need more time. You cannot deliver it by this date.
Yeah, so in that case, like we have to inform the client and say, so I would say, so they will definitely understand. So we have to explain. There are like not only in IT projects, but even any project there can be problems like that. So
all right, which business models do you practice in your business? Like is it outstaffing, outsourcing, dedicated?
I would say we have a mix of both. So we have our in-house products as well, and also we are doing the outsourcing model as well. So yeah.
Well, the question is different. How do you bill?
Okay.
How do you bill your customers?
So some projects are fixed rate projects. So some customers prefer fixed rates. So mostly the local clients they prefer fixed rates. So they can have, even like there are foreign clients who prefer fixed rates. So for them to, like most of the startups mainly, so since they are getting the funds, so they want to see whether this development can be done within their available funds. So and also we have the hourly based billing method, so where we bill them for the hours utilized. And
how often does it happen that there is a scope creep and you don't meet the initial price estimation with fixed quote projects?
So you ask whether when we use hourly?
No, not hourly. When you price the whole project.
Oh yeah.
And how often does it happen that you go beyond your estimate and actually work towards shrinking your margin?
It happens. I would say it happens. That's mostly because of the customer relationship we have. So sometimes we try to squeeze some change requests. So that's where we might see like the problem you said. Yeah.
And how do you solve it?
Say like, yeah, it's a problem from our end as well. So I would say it's a like, I don't know, it happens. So we think from the customer's end sometimes, so we have to do it anyway. So
you just eat it up.
Yeah. Right. So I don't think it's a good business practice with the long run, but like we are also starting up, so we are building the customer base. So from time to time we have to do, like we have to adjust ourselves also, so we have to be flexible when we are starting. So yeah.
And is there an hourly rate difference between like Sri Lankan customers and foreign customers?
No, we practice one rate for both the local clients and foreign clients, but for the different services we have different rates. So that like mostly even when it comes to web development, so sometimes the local projects are not like sometimes they don't want CMS and all that, so the hours or the cost might be different, but for the foreign projects the scope might be different, and yeah, but the rates are similar.
And what are the hourly rates here?
So it differs from service to service. So we also practice the standard rates with the other Asian countries. So I would say we are in the average range, yeah.
But how much is it?
So, what kind of technology or the,
just give me an example.
like around $25? Yeah, that's kind of like the average, yeah. It differs from the technologies and the resources.
And do you do any marketing for your services?
Yeah, we do. So we have the sales team and like the business development team who like they consist of both marketing and sales talent. So for the local clients we do polling and the stuff. So
that's sales.
That's sales, yeah. That's
marketing
sales. The marketing
that the customers come to
yes.
you. That you're getting leads
yes.
from the outside.
So for the foreign markets, we haven't done any marketing at the moment. It's mostly the network and the friends that we get the projects. Like I have friends who are in Canada, Australia, UK, and all that. So they send us the referrals. So we work with the clients in that case. Yeah.
And do you get bench sometimes? Do you have your people like?
Mostly not, because we have these microfinance product and some other products that we are working on. Even the mobile application, we are working on some projects. So if someone doesn't have a outsourcing project, so we take them to the product development. So they won't be in the bench.
And do you keep track of your utilization?
Yeah, we do. The project management side, we have the track of those things.
And what's the average utilization of billable resources?
I would say 80%. Yeah. So I think it's like, since we are not a very big company and we have like a big staff, so I think it's agile. But when it comes to the when we have like thousands of people, so it might go higher. So I also know that. So
usually it goes lower because then there are a lot of internal processes to take care of, and then the utilization goes down. How well are your projects documented? How do you document your projects?
Yeah, so we have we follow the standard practices for project management. So we keep track of the project charters, the business case documents, so SRS. It all depends on the size of the project.
But do you use any knowledge base for all of your projects?
Sorry?
Any knowledge base for all of your projects?
Knowledge base for all of the projects. For the technical side, we maintain, like for the development and all that, so the knowledge base we maintain. But
what do you use for knowledge base? What product? So
you're asking a knowledge base of the
all the project details. Let's say you know the bus factor, right?
You asking the project details? The knowledge base of
not issue tracking. No.
Okay.
The project information.
Okay, like
this person is responsible for this. This is the contact on the customer side. These are the credentials to log in. Here's where the database is, and so on. So whatever information relevant to the project, where is it stored? How do you keep it?
It's stored in the project management. So we use Soho projects. So we store that information there as well, and also we have the repositories in Google Drive also. So for the some document storage and all that, we use Google Drive.
And how are your processes documented?
So we don't have much of the process, like the processes we follow. Since we don't have a big staff, so we have simple processes in place. So mostly the processes are followed through the systems itself. So other than that, we keep a document to we keep a document of the processes with flow charts and all that. Yeah. And also we are working with some consultants on CMMI implementation as well. So we hope to get one of the certifications as soon as possible to get the processes in place.
And on your website, I saw a bunch of certifications.
Yeah.
Right. How did you get them, and how are they useful in your work?
Yeah. So certification, I think the certifications, in the sense the partnerships and the things, I think you are.
There are pages, yes, partnerships.
Yeah. So we have partnered with a lot of those reseller, like the distributors and all that. So we do the reselling for Delhi EMC. So in Sri Lanka, and also we sell Microsoft Office 365. And we have partnered with ESET Virus Guard, so, and Kaspersky. So that is a separate line that we follow. So we have partnered with some clients, and since we are working with local clients, they have these requirements from servers to like the microfinance system we offer. So we might come up with situations where they need in-house servers. So we get the Dell EMCs and all that. Yeah. So those are the partnerships we working with.
And how is Kaspersky? How does it benefit you? You resell licenses to your customers?
That's it. Yeah, we mostly resell licenses. Yeah. Those are like the value addition things that we provide to customers, not from like the main business stream. Yeah.
What's your plan for 2022?
Yeah, 2022, as I said, we are planning on expansion. So it's mainly starting from the revenue. So starting from the revenue, the team expansion also. So we are targeting on expanding to international markets mainly. So since we are currently working with clients from UK and Australia, so and also Canada, so we are focusing on expanding to those markets. So we are working with several programs, internal development, and also the marketing aspect of it, so to get the thing up and running as soon as possible.
And what are the steps that you're gonna take to get there?
Yeah, so we are working on the marketing. Like international marketing is something new to us. So we were doing the sales in the local market, and also the marketing we have done locally. So Google ads to LinkedIn ads to Facebook ads to everything, so we have done locally. But when it comes to the international market, it's different. So we are competing with a different set of people in international markets, and also the pitch we should the pitch we should use is different. So we are working with a consultant who is expert in the international marketing field. So we are working with her to get the marketing plan up and running. So we hope we will be able to do it like the early April, let's say. Yeah, so that's the plan. So the marketing aspect, we are planning to go with that, and also internal, like as I said, improving the processes and all that, and all we are working with. So it's mainly like doubling the size of the company. So that's our target for 2020 actually.
All right.
So it's hard, but with the COVID situation, so the COVID like comes on time to time. So we hope for the best. We think that the COVID problem will be over. So yeah.
I don't know. In my experience, COVID only sparkled more interest in IT services.
That's true.
Because many businesses went online, and
exactly.
If before COVID I had to fly over to the US,
yes,
or to my customer location, shake hands and do meetings for a week. This time it was enough to just have 2 Skype calls, and then you could land contracts for $1 million or $1.5 million dollars.
You might have time to travel as well, so you can even talk to customers from here. So they don't. That's true.
Well, the choice of countries you could travel to was, of course, reduced. I mean, traveling for pleasure is one.
Have you traveled Sri Lanka before?
No, this is my first time here.
Okay.
So I decided to pick something new because last winter I was in Mexico and in Costa Rica.
Okay, what made you select Sri Lanka?
Half of Ukraine is here. This winter, a lot of Ukrainians.
Okay.
So I thought this many Ukrainians couldn't fit on an island this small.
So they have a good outlook about the country?
They love it here. Otherwise, they wouldn't come.
Exactly. So you have a lot of other options as well.
And there is this. You heard about tensions between Russia and Ukraine.
I wanted to ask you, any of your close
crazy shit. I just don't. I just cannot. I'm reading the news on a On a constant basis, and I'm flying back on Thursday.
So how many days you were here? So I think 1 month, right? So you said that you were coming that time. So where else you went? Alla, Dambulla, Kandy?
I started in Merisa.
Okay.
I went to Gol for 1 day, to Unavatuna, but mostly in Merisa, in the south. Then I went to Ella for 7 days. Then I went to Kandy for 3 days. And then I went to Dambulla, to Herath and Skandalama for 4 days.
Okay.
And then I came here. Now tell me, what have you heard about Ukraine, besides the current situation?
Ukraine, so how we know is that so most of the people who are coming from Ukraine as travelers. So when it comes to IT, so it's a good IT outsourcing comparison. So it's on my competitors list. So I also keep track of the competition.
Which companies are you following?
Not focused on companies, but as a country, so that's something I do, like the cultures and all that. So we have to see, like, especially when we are doing international marketing, so we have to see so where we are fitting. So we don't want to pitch in somewhere we don't fit. So those are the things. So I haven't traveled to Ukraine, so I hope I'll come there. So
please do. You're always welcome.
Yeah.
And tell me about Ukrainian tourists. How do Sri Lankans perceive them? What do you think about them?
Yeah. So I think they were the people who helped us when we needed people to come in. So the Ukrainians started coming, then only the other people started coming. So I think
we normally don't give a shit about COVID because we have seen scarier shit than that.
Okay.
We are not afraid of a little virus.
Yeah. So it was a big thing as a country. So the thing you guys did, so it made again attracting the tourists back to the country. So.
And what have you heard about Ukrainian developers besides that they are competing on the same market? Ever got to work with someone? Or?
No, I haven't got a chance to work with someone, but as I know, they are mostly they work with up-to-date technologies. So that's what I know, like the AI and the things, so blockchain, so they are mostly focused. So what I see is that in Sri Lanka, what happens is that people learn these things, the blockchain and the things, but they travel, they go abroad and work. So there are lot of companies in Sri Lanka who are handling those type of projects. Even I don't think the capital wise they have to put in the recruiting the people, so it's costly. So mostly even I had a lot of friends who are working on the blockchain and the data. They went abroad and they stay in Canada, Norway, Sweden and all that. So they have migrated.
Yeah, it's very hot in terms of it's a very hot technology in the market and a very sought after skill. Yeah. All right. Anything you would like to ask me?
I'll ask you some questions. So
please do.
Tell me how you started the thing. So how is it mainly?
Well, I was 6 when I first saw a computer. It was in 1987.
Yeah.
Then with 8, I got interested in programming and I wrote my first program. Then with 15, I developed a software that was used in BBS, bulletin board systems.
Okay.
That is a kind of connectivity that was there before the internet, and people would call other people's phone numbers.
Okay.
But they both had modems. And this way they could access file base or messaging board online. And then if you had multiple telephone lines, you could connect all together. Or if you had only one line, then it's first come, first serve. So let's say one session at a time, but then one left message, another one read the message, and one uploaded the file, another one downloaded the file, this kind of interaction. And I wrote a software that made this all possible. And it was used by...
You made it to start the company, you took it and started the company?
No, it wasn't yet for the company. I was 15, I was at school.
Okay,
right? And when I was at school, I was working on this project. I was working with my customers on their feature requests and so on. It was free software.
Okay. Okay.
I was.
So
just,
you had customer base for that?
I was just an enthusiast, yes.
Okay.
But my software got really popular.
Okay.
And like most of former USSR, when they chose a software for their bulletin board system, they chose mine. It was called Tornado BBS. So then I got interested in Linux and open source because it was very techy, very nerdy, and so on. And I created a few projects for Linux open source at the age of 17. It was an ICQ client, multiple messaging client in text mode for Linux. I reversed engineered their protocols and created a solution that was able to connect all of them and message with people on all of those networks. And then with 17, I started my first job as a software developer. I briefly worked for a police station. That wasn't a good experience. But then I worked at an outsourcing company, one of the first outsourcing companies in Ukraine.
Okay.
And
this was in which year was it?
It was in 1998.
Okay. I was at grade 8, but by that time. So you are
40.
Sorry?
I'm 40.
44.
40, just 40. 40.
So you were born in
1980.
81.
Yes.
So I am 90 born.
Yeah.